Welcome back to Rumi Gold, where quiet mastery begins. Before we speak, let's arrive. I want you to close your eyes, release your jaw, unclench your hands, breathe in, steady and slow. Count to 4, pause for 2, let it go, smooth, unforced. Count to 6, let the chair hold your weight. Let the breath hold your attention. Again, in, pause, out. You're not rushing anywhere. The world can wait. Let this moment be weightier than any to-do list. That's the grounding. What if clarity was louder than strategy? What if you never needed more to feel full? What if wealth quietly belonged to you long before you chased it? What if the only thing missing was a gentler way to hold power? And what if real abundance is found where you stop pretending? Today we explore money, not as a tactic, but as a truth. How to manifest it without letting it hollow you out. How to receive without running. How to build without hardening. This is not theory for the ambitious. This is for the ones who want to stay whole, no matter the sum. Pause for a moment. Where in your life have you tried to force results, squeezing the soul out of your work? Where have you believed you had to become someone else to earn? Where have you traded your ease for an outcome, only to find it slips away the moment you grasp it? Let that breathe. There's a quiet cost to chasing what's not meant for you. It's not dollars. It's the slow leak of self-respect, the burning out of your own clarity, the noise that drowns out the voice inside you that always knew what mattered. This isn't about motivation. I've sat with this in empty rooms and crowded boardrooms. I've seen how the game twists you if you let it. How easy it is to confuse movement for meaning. You already feel it. There's nothing to prove. There's something here. Stay with it. Breathe in. Feel how stillness changes the air. That's the discipline. Most of us learned all the wrong things about wealth before we were old enough to even count money. We were handed rules like they were old family recipes. Work harder. That's how you become worthy. Suffer now, and wealth might show up later. You start running that program for a few years, and soon the grind is all you know. There's a kind of pride in exhaustion, like the bags under your eyes somehow prove you deserve more. But exhaustion isn't proof of anything except distance from yourself. The longer you wear that badge, the less you feel your own pulse. When you chase money out of fear, afraid of being left behind, afraid of not being enough, you create an atmosphere where money can't breathe, because fear will always run faster than you can earn. No number will ever feel safe enough if that's the temperature you live in. On the flip side, hiding from money because you've been told it's impure because someone convinced you that wanting is greedy drains the soul out of prosperity before it even arrives. That guilt you carry turns abundance into a puzzle you can't solve. Let that echo. Picture a bird trying to fly with one wing pushing up labeled fear and the other pressing down labeled guilt. All the frantic flapping goes nowhere. You rise, then immediately stall. No forward motion, just a struggle in midair, trying to force lift from a state of fracture. It's not that you aren't meant to soar. It's just that both wings are pulling you in opposite directions. That's what happens when your mindset about money is split, an inner battle that quietly drains every flight. Some people try to fix this by shutting down one wing, making money purely mechanical, just numbers and goals. Others go the opposite way, shaming themselves for wanting more. Either approach is a fracture. A one-winged bird can't fly. Neither can a divided heart. The discipline is seeing the split without attacking yourself. There's nothing to prove. You already know this. You've felt it every time you push a bit harder than you want to, or stop yourself from asking for more because shame creeps in. The work here isn't to choose a side, but to let both wings land. Integration, not more effort, is the real lift. Notice the split, breathe with it, and see what changes. When you see the pattern, you're no longer run by it. That's the invitation. What if wealth wasn't earned, but tuned? What if you could stop chasing money and start matching it? What if reality only gives you what you're ready to receive? And what if you're not failing, just vibrating at an old frequency? Let's start here. Most people live noisy, busy, but off-key. A guitar string, loose or over-tight, still rings out, but only when it's tuned does it become music. Your inner frequency is no different. You don't receive what you want, you receive what you are. Every morning, before you pick up your phone, pause, let your hand rest on your heart. Feel the quiet insulation from the world's static. Whisper thanks for what's already feeding you. Maybe it's just $20. Maybe it's the coffee in your cup. Maybe it's the silence before the day floods in. Gratitude isn't a trick. It's how you amplify wealth so quietly. There's no applause, just expansion. Imagine for a moment you're sitting in a chair, sunlight warm on your skin. Breathe in, each breath steady. Let every inhale feel like a slow deposit. Let every exhale feel like you're sending something meaningful into the world. Don't rush. This is not about getting rich. This is about matching the rhythm of enoughness. Let that land. Now, picture your bank account. No numbers yet. Just notice your heartbeat. You're not small. The balance isn't you. It's just a wave rising, receding. Money comes, money goes. An ocean doesn't panic when a wave falls. It was always meant to return. Neutrality dissolves fear. That's the discipline. One last layer. Act with subtle generosity today. Leave a bigger tip. Drop a coin where someone will find it. Buy someone's morning coffee. Quietly. These aren't random acts, they're rehearsals. Wealth is a frequency. Circulation is the proof. When you practice giving small, you tell the world, not that you have enough, but that you are enough. And the world tends to agree. That's the way. What if you stopped designing your life from urgency and started building it from presence? What if money actually wanted you to hold it still, not chase it, not rush it, but give it a shape, like clay in your hands? What if the real boundary was never about saying no to others, but about finally saying yes to your own peace? Let that land. We talk about abundance like it just happens, something that shows up if you visualize hard enough. But money is more like water than lightning. It needs a vessel, or it spills. You already know this. Think of your budget, not as a prison, but as a garden plot. Some sections get roses, some you plant with herbs or wildflowers. Not every inch is the same, but every space is claimed by your own hand, instead of left to weeds. An intentional dollar, even if it's just one, rings louder than $10 scattered by stress. That's the difference. You didn't earn it in panic. You placed it from clarity, boundaries. Most people hear that word and think of shutting doors. But a boundary, when it's soulful, is more like drawing a map and knowing what land is yours to tend. When you say no to the client or job that drains you, you're not creating less, you're clearing space for real prosperity. Your truest asset is your energy. When you protect it, Life expands in response. Offers work the same way. The right offer feels like a steady current. It moves with you. The wrong one is a heavy cart you have to drag uphill. You already feel the difference. Even the most spiritual builders need a blueprint. Kabbalists spoke of vessel and light. The vessel is the part you shape. No vessel, no light held. Don't fear building vessels. It's not resistance, it's readiness. That's the discipline. Maybe pause for a moment today. Grab a notebook. Write down one financial structure. Maybe your budget, your savings method. Which piece could you realign from clarity instead of scarcity? Write one boundary you're ready to set, even if it's just an honest conversation. Name one offer you re-carrying that fits you like skin, or one that needs to be let go. Let these questions work on you, quietly, like water shaping stone. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be true. What if money was never meant to sit still, but to move as naturally as breath? How would your world change if you saw every dollar the way you see an inhale or an exhale? Who taught you that clinging to what you've earned would make you wealthier? Who convinced you that letting go would leave you empty? There's a simple truth you already know. The more you clench, the less you have. And the more you let circulate, the more alive you feel. Picture breath. If you try to keep every inhale, you suffocate. If you only exhale, you lose your strength. Wealth is the same. Accumulating with no outflow drains your spirit slowly at first, then all at once. Letting go with nothing coming back leaves you hollow. But when money can move in and out, quietly, rhythmically, that's the elegance nobody talks about. That's the discipline. Imagine your money like water inside a fountain. Picture what happens when the water stops moving. Stagnation, decay, maybe a gentle kind of loss. But when the water keeps flowing, out and back in, there's music, there's beauty, there's life. This isn't about high risk. It isn't about splurging. It's about letting your resources move with the right intention. First, notice where you invest in nourishment, not just survival. Maybe you spend on a course. Maybe you hire a coach, or even savor a meal that expands your spirit, that isn't leaking money, that's circulating it, that's feeding the system. There's nothing to prove. Second, look at how you receive. When someone pays you, offers you a gift, acknowledges your effort, do you tense, shrink, make yourself small? Or do you simply say, thank you, let it in clean, and keep breathing? Shrinking in the moment of receiving isn't humility. It's a tiny break in the cycle. When you receive with elegance, you keep circulation alive. Let that land. Third, consider what you give without fear or guilt. Tithing, donating, sharing, even a small, rhythmic outflow. That isn't about proving your virtue. It is about being a node in the bigger rhythm part of the ecosystem. Rumi said, try to accept the changing seasons of your soul. In every season, there will be giving and receiving, ebb and flow. Seasons of earning, seasons of handing off. It's one cycle. Right now, there's a decision you're making about money. Maybe you're about to buy something, hold back from saving, or consider a gift. Before the decision, pause. Ask yourself, is this an inhale or an exhale? Does it feel constricted, or does it feel like breath? Try seeing this moment not just as math, but as a breathing pattern. In, out, in, out. There's nothing to force. That's what clarity sounds like. So here's what lands, quietly. Money is not about hustle. It's not about winning a race you never meant to run. It's about harmony, the kind that doesn't make a sound. Today, you saw the cracks, the places where fear pulls you one way and guilt tugs you the other. That's where most people stay, cycling old patterns quietly, believing effort alone makes them worthy. We walked through 3 practices. Think of them like pillars of an old trusted building. First, there's daily energetic calibration, tuning your frequency before the world's noise tries to claim you. One silent moment in the morning, alone and unhurried. That's where you feel your own pulse, not someone else's. Second is strategy with soul. Boundaries strong like steel, but flexible like breath. You're allowed to decide what enters your space and what leaves it. That's sacred stewardship, not selfishness. Money likes clarity, it likes order. It wants to feel safe in your hands. Last, you learned to let wealth move in and out, quiet, unforced. Think of it like breath. Nobody hoards a breath or chases the next one. You just allow the flow. That's circulation. You felt it. You can practice again today simply by witnessing the way money comes and goes without drama. These aren't theories.